In the heart of Africa, where the soil was rich and red and the sun kissed the earth with an unrelenting fire, there stood a grand estate known as the House of Money. It was not just a house in the conventional sense, it was an institution, a fortress of secrets, and a beacon of both envy and awe. The House of Money belonged to Chief Kwame Adisa, a man whose name echoed across the continent. A self-made tycoon, Kwame had risen from a humble farmer's son to one of the wealthiest men in Africa. His wealth came not from gold or oil, as many suspected, but from his ingenious creation, a network of cooperative banks that served the underserved, the traders in bustling markets, the farmers in distant villages, and the artisans in hidden workshops. Kwame's empire was built on trust, a rare commodity in an era where corruption and greed were rampant. But trust was not the only thing that fueled his success. Behind his empire was a tale steeped in folklore, ambition, betrayal, and redemption. Decades earlier, young Kwame had been just another boy in Akure, a village nestled by the river Nyoka. His father, Adisa the Wise, was known for his proverbs and stories, which he shared under the baobab tree each evening. Kwame grew up listening to tales of Anansi the spider and the wisdom of the ancestors, but it was his father's warning that stuck with him most.
Son, the greatest treasure is not gold, but the trust of your people. Lose that, and even the richest man becomes a pauper.
One fateful night, a traveling merchant visited Akure. He spoke of cities where wealth flowed like rivers, where men built empires of stone and steel. Young Kwame was entranced. With a heart full of dreams, he left Akure at dawn, promising to return with riches that would uplift his people. Kwame's journey took him to Lagos, the sprawling city of contradictions. There, he faced the brutal realities of urban life. He was cheated, mocked, and almost crushed under the weight of his own ambitions. But Kwame was resourceful. He observed the struggles of market women who needed loans, of fishermen who couldn't repair their nets, and of carpenters who couldn't buy tools. They were shackled by poverty, not by laziness, but by a lack of opportunity. It was then that the idea struck him. What if he created a bank, not for the rich, but for the common folk? He started small, with a wooden box under a mango tree, offering microloans to market women. His interest rates were fair, and he treated his customers with respect. Word spread, and soon Kwame's bank grew into a network that spanned the city. But success did not come without enemies. The traditional moneylenders who thrived on exploiting the poor saw Kwame as a threat. They conspired to bring him down. One night, his small office was set ablaze and his records destroyed. Kwame was left with nothing but ashes and despair. Yet the people he had helped rallied around him. They pooled their meager savings and gave them to Kwame, urging him to start again. "We trust you," they said. With tears in his eyes, Kwame rebuilt his business, stronger and more resilient than before. Years passed, and Kwame's cooperative banks flourished. He returned to Akure, not as the prodigal son, but as a savior. He built schools, clinics, and roads. He ensured that every child in Akure could dream as he once had. But the crown jewel of his legacy was the House of Money, a sprawling estate that served as the headquarters of his empire. The House of Money was more than just a building. It was a symbol of hope and unity. Its doors were always open to those in need. The Great Hall was adorned with murals depicting African legends, from Shaka Zulu to Queen Zinga. At its center stood a statue of Adisa the Wise, holding a scroll inscribed with his famous proverb. But the House of Money also held secrets. Deep in its vaults lay Kwame's most prized possession, an ancient ledger containing the names of every person who had ever trusted him with their savings. To Kwame, it was a sacred testament to his life's work. As Kwame grew older, whispers began to circulate. Rivals claimed he had hidden treasures buried within the estate. Thieves plotted to break in. But Kwame was unperturbed. He gathered the youth of Akure and shared his story, teaching them the values of integrity and community. The real treasure, he told them, lies not in gold or silver, but in the hearts of those who believe in you. When Chief Kwame Adisa passed away, the entire continent mourned. The House of Money became a museum and a center for financial education. His legacy lived on in the countless lives he had touched and the dreams he had inspired. And so the House of Money stood tall, a testament to the power of trust, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of Africa.